Because right now I'm like pedal to the floor.
Welcome back to the Circle of Drift podcast, where we interview some of the most interesting personalities within the industry. My name is Dawson, and today we have on multiple people, where we'll hear from Paxton on S chassis versus Ford chassis.
It's going to sound obvious, but I really want to go to a Mustang chassis.
Oh no. Sasha on low horsepower cars versus high horsepower cars.
I've gotten to drive like a couple other cars lately, like my buddy's 1J, like 400 horsepower S13.
It's always good to drive different
Dude,
setups.
that thing is a monster.
RJay on leaving the Jimmy Oaks crew, and Scott on some sim-related new products.
I was full-time with Jimmy for almost 5 years, but I was a part of the channel since the very beginning, so it was 9 years.
We just did some new steering wheels with grip oil for like simulator specific.
And plenty of more here on the Circle of Drift podcast, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and without further ado, let's get into the episode.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era.
All right, well, obviously, we're at Import Alliance, and first one to come on is Paxton. So,
What's up, guys?
been meaning to talk to you for quite a while, and Rob, of course, but,
Yes, sir.
you know, so how are you doing this weekend as far as Import Alliance goes? I know you've been having a little bit of troubles.
It's been good. The event's been good. A lot of people, a lot of cars. The car, on the other hand, we've had some issues with.
Yeah.
I've got about 8 to 10 laps in so far just from Saturday. It was good. First lap out, we just kind of did a little shakedown of the car.
Yeah.
Everything was good. Second lap out, we had a weird failure with the dipstick. Sprayed oil everywhere, caused the car to catch on fire. So
Good God.
we got it back, went over. Thankfully, we only melted like one wire, and just other than
That's not
having a
bad.
mess. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, cool. All right. Well, so for anyone that doesn't understand what car you drive or have never seen your face with the car, give a little bit of rundown on what it is, what engine's in it, all that stuff.
So it is a 1995 Nissan 240SX, S14 blister kit, Texas Speed Gen 3 Coyote, Paxton supercharger, Vengeance clutch, Caliber transmission, FDF suspension front and rear, tape space, handbrake assembly, Sicky handbrake, handle. I wouldn't say it's a pro spec car, but it's a pro-am competition car.
I would say it's virtually a
it's up
pro-spec
there.
car. It's
Yeah.
damn near close enough. What made you go with the Hemi platform on that?
The Coyote.
Or, sorry,
It
Coyote.
was-
Did I just say Hemi? My bad.
Might be a little bit better.
Don't come for me.
Wanted to be different. So originally the car was supposed to be getting a 2JZ, and we kind of fell over with that idea. And our next choice was like,
Should've.
let's go 2JZ or a LS.
Yeah.
And
The common sense
Dad's
choice,
never
you
been
know.
a Chevy guy. He's always been a Ford guy. And Dad was like, let's do
Yet
something
he
Ford
always
powered.
preaches LS everywhere.
Everywhere. And he was like, let's do something Ford powered. So we got with Vengeance clutch, Comp 1.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's try EcoBoost. That was the first one. So we got to talking around. This is back when Chelsea was originally doing the Fox body, like when he was putting it together.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a whole lot of support out for the EcoBoost, so
Yeah.
we couldn't get to the power number we wanted to.
Dude, Gym Sport's doing some cool shit with it now.
Really?
As far as EcoBoost goes, I was talking to them of possibly doing one, and I'm not going to name the car yet because I don't want to give it away for them, but actually, Josh just bleeped this part out.
Oh, okay.
We're talking
Yeah.
about doing one of those because I have one just sitting in my driveway. So
Yeah.
it's a very, what is your opinion on the EcoBoost platform comparative to like other 4-cylinders in the market, especially turbo 4-cylinders?
I think so. I love them. I've heard the power. I've never driven an EcoBoost car,
Right.
but they say the power is very responsive. There's a lot going on with them from what I've seen. I superiorly would still choose a SR over anything, or
Yes.
or KA. Like I've always just stuck with
Yeah.
them. Sounds are better. Everything. Just superior.
So have you always been more into Nissans then? Is that just kind of the route
Yeah,
you took?
that's what I got introduced to. So we came from drag racing, and we were always full-blown drag cars and everything. So when we got introduced to the drift scene, that was kind of introducing us to the JDM market and everything.
Gotcha,
And that's why I got introduced
yeah.
with the S14 and 240s and stuff. So I've
You're
always,
like, damn, that shit looks way cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, how do you feel now that you own an S chassis in a market that is, like, incredibly flooded in price range? Like, How much would you even guess that car is worth now on the open
Lord.
market?
I honestly don't know.
You could ask any drifter that about their car, and they're like, I don't even want to know.
I feel like it's hard to put a price tag on it. Thanks to my partners and everybody, we built the car for way cheaper. If I had to resell it, I would see 40 to 60 out of it.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. Oh my God.
Shoot, I could sell a shell with S chassis prices for
I know.
2,000, 3,000.
Oh, more than that. Dude, I see shells online for like $6,000.
They'll be rusted
what
out
world are
and-
we living in at this point? It's insane. Well, do you, as far as we were talking about the engine platform and everything, sorry. Sidetrack. My bad. Do you ever see yourself jumping away from that platform and going into possibly LS or coming back to the JZ option?
One day, yeah.
'Cause
I
I
don't think
would-
I'll ever
JZ
go
is
LS,
best.
but the JZ would be.
Oh, explain it. Explain it. Why not LS?
So we were around Brandon Wicknick getting into our whole drift scene, and he introduced us to the JZ platform. And seeing him take his the Shark car to S13 Coupe, and doing head gasket head studs, making 500, 600 reliably, no issues. That was just like you can't do that. You can do that for 5.3 or a 4.8, or I mean, unless you go 6.0, 6.2, which are out of this world now for pricing.
Right.
You just can't make reliable power that easy. And they sound cool to me. I love JZ sounds. JZ sounds.
Totally agree. Have you ever driven a JZ car?
Yeah, I've driven
been able to
Brandon
drift
Wicknick's
it.
car.
Oh, okay. So you did get to drive it. Sick. So then, how, as far as like the drivability of a turbo car compared to what you drive now? I mean, you're virtually just on and off switch with this.
Oh, yeah.
So like, how was it dealing with boost?
It was weird to get used to because I've always been around NA and supercharged cars. So driving something with a turbo, having to get used to getting in throttle a little bit earlier and everything.
Using the clutch a lot more.
Yeah.
Hell
Having
yeah.
the clutch kick.
Yep.
Was really.
Being able to surge the turbo was really odd for me.
Yeah.
Revving up in the RPMs while you're just floating the car. It took me a bit to grasp that a little bit.
Yeah.
But, well, how long have you actually been in drifting? How long have you personally been driving?
So I started driving back in 2021.
Oh, so you're still fairly fresh, dude. Mm-hmm. You're a damn good driver for that young.
I started season 2, round 1 of Clutch Kickers. Like when season 2 kicked off for Clutch
Gotcha.
Kickers, that was when. But we've been around since round 3 of Clutch Kickers. I schedule everything off like Clutch Kickers. So
Yeah. Well,
that's
how
the
did you like it back in the day?
Man, I miss
compared
it.
to
It
other
was the
events.
best.
I got to go to one fun day. It was amazing.
We used to go. So we lived in Dothan, Alabama. So we were really close. We were only like 45 minutes from the track from when it was in Emerald Coast. We would go to every single event, and it was just the vibes were great. Everybody out there was great. It was amazing.
What about those events, though, do you think made it stand out compared to, say, FD or even, like, these events?
I feel like it wasn't as political to me. Like, comparing it to FD. I catch such a greater vibe at Clutch Kickers and really any other grassroots competition.
Yeah.
Because music's playing, everybody's running around acting a fool, having a fun time. After parties, after all the events.
That's true. Yeah.
Like Clutch Kickers, we used to go out to the Island Hotel after all the rounds.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
And it'd be a huge after party after, and it was just awesome. I mean,
how do you feel about it coming back, or the possibility of it coming back?
I feel like it's going to be good. I feel like it's going to take a couple rounds to really bring everybody back. I don't think the vibes are going to be the same. I feel like
it's not the same people.
Yeah.
It's hard to recreate that same vibe without the same exact people. And don't get me wrong, I love Mid-Pond, and I'm sure you've driven Mid-Pond plenty of times.
Great.
But like, the track is good for it. There's just not enough room either. The improvements to the track need to be better, and I think it'll do great. But
Oh yeah.
will you be driving it when it comes back?
I plan on it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Damn, dude.
That's
gonna be
originally what my
sick.
car was built for. We built my
That was the whole
car
point of it.
for what's up?
That was the whole point of it?
It was to drive Clutch Kickers.
Shit.
And that's when Clutch Kickers went down. We were like, okay, well, we got a wide open range of building the car. And now
Yeah.
Clutch Kickers is back. We're like, let's dedicate the car to Clutch Kickers again. So,
Shoot. What have you been, I guess, implementing in place of Clutch Kickers for events and stuff since it went away? Like, what is the priority event now?
I really want to stay out towards. So right now, of course, we're just doing these basic little fun days and track days and stuff. I want to hit up some of the money comps, like money runs and everything. I wish we could hit up Riverside. I don't know if they're bringing it back this year, but
I don't think they're doing any more this year. I know that the guys at Catch My Drift that I just interviewed, they do $10,000 payouts every comp event, I guess.
Yeah.
I think is what it was. It's essentially a $40,000 series.
Yeah.
So
Next best to clutch kickers, in my opinion.
right, and they don't even market it as that. I told them, I was like, dude, you're screwing up. Market it as $40,000. People will come.
Exactly.
But
so we went out to Off-Grid Motorsports Park a couple weeks ago for their little competition that they did, and we talked to one of the guys that runs Catch My Drift, as he was telling me about the series, and I was like, this sounds good.
They
And
seem
watching
like
all
they
the
got some
videos
good
and stuff,
drivers.
it looks really good.
hell yeah, you should definitely try it. Other than that, though, what comps do you hope to be inviting yourself into?
East 10's a big one for me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of the competition up there that you're interested in, like, driving against?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked at the list. It's
always
always
got
been
Osoli.
interesting. Is he driving it?
I think he's driving it this year. I'm pretty sure.
Connor Osolo would be one.
Yeah.
Isn't Reese Conklin doing it?
Ooh,
or won't he be out
I
there?
think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously.
He's got a new E46. That thing is
Yeah.
rowdy. That thing gets down.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that, do you ever plan on changing chassis at all? Like, if there was a different chassis you want to go to?
It's going to sound obvious, but I really want to go to a Mustang chassis.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I either want to go, I have two ways I want to go. I either want to go Fox body or I want to go S550, like everybody
Okay,
else.
that's what I was about to ask. What chassis? Why those?
I just love the way they look. That's what.
Get the Fox body. That's
When we were in
550,
drag
not so
racing,
much.
we were with the Fox body. That's the car we had, small
Yeah.
tire Fox body, and it was. I don't know. They've always looked good. Cash Staub, his looks amazing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that car up close and, like,
Yeah.
really picked at it?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the concept you would go with?
Yeah.
Just kind of
I love the
copy and
idea he
paste?
has after with the Japanese style body kit on it,
Dude,
three-piece
yeah.
wheels. It's just.
He's a hot boy, bro. And he drives hard. It's incredible how well that kid drives. Love you,
crazy.
Cash. You're awesome.
You're the man.
Hell yeah. Well, with the age of sim and everything, have you been practicing and keeping up seat time on the sim as well as in the car? Or do
All
you
the
kind of not
time.
have time?
So that's what I started originally on the sim. I drove on the sim for about 3
Oh,
years
okay.
before I got into an actual car. I'd say I picked it up pretty fast. Like, it was a pretty easy switch over. And anytime, like after work, every day after work, I'll go and I'll drive for at least 20 to 30 minutes just to get some type of seat time in.
I try to as well. At least 15, 20 minutes, something like that. It keeps the natural second nature alive, I guess.
It is weird going from a car, though, to the sim. Like,
Oh, yeah.
after this weekend, I'll go in tomorrow or sometime. I'll drive on the sim. I'll be like, whoa, this is weird.
So do you think you would have comprehended the sim as well as you did if you started in the car first?
I don't think so.
Why?
Just because you don't have the sense of the car. I don't know, there's so many things that you can feel in a car that you still don't get on the sim. So I've driven on motion sims and stuff, and I've gotten like super realistic feels and stuff from it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, I don't know, I don't see it being as easy to adapt to.
I feel that. What sim rig are you actually working with? What is
Right
the
now, I'm
setup?
on a fan. So I've always stuck to Fanatec stuff.
Really? Okay.
I drove on a Club Sport for a very long time, and I loved it. And I just recently went over to the DD.
Okay.
And I want to go over to Moza. Moza looks really good. Everybody seems to be talking good about it. And Sim Magic, I believe, is coming out, and it's really good
Sim
too.
Magic's been doing some crazy shit. I mean, they're especially working with FD. Like,
Right.
it's got to be product, good
That's
product.
what Robert
you know.
bought his son, and
Yeah.
I've driven on it like once or twice, and it's.
What wheelbase was it? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not off the top of my head.
Because I'd be interested. They just came out with that Alpha Mini or something. I don't know.
I
if
want
it
to
just
say
came
it's
out or what.
smaller. It's like
Dude,
a
it's
block.
tiny.
Or it's like
so
it's
small.
weird box. It's
I want to
strange.
try that. See how
I've heard all.
see how
good
well
from
it keeps
them.
up. Damn. Well, as far as the sim though, what is some techniques that you have been able to progress a lot more just physically because of the sim?
I think really. I gotta think about it for a second.
For example, mine would be transition timing.
Yeah.
Really getting down.
I've
that.
really used it. So chasing for tandems and stuff, chasing's always been a thing for me.
Yeah.
Such as using transition timing and everything to really catch up on cars. I've really used the sim to help on that. But your basic stuff, left foot braking,
Yeah.
trying to get the car to zones has really gave me an idea. Like getting on these like VDC tracks
Yeah.
in cars. I use a VR headset, so
Oh,
I can really get
no.
a feel. I drive an S chassis, I can get a feel
How
for
do you
where the
deal
back
with
of the car
it?
is. So I've made the switch from VR to the single monitor like 20 times. I'll drive on the monitor for a little while, and I want to try the VR again. So I'll
Yeah.
get on it, drive for a week or two, start getting sick from it and getting a weird feeling, and I'm like, I gotta quit.
Oh, I gotta take a break.
Yeah.
Dude, I physically just can't handle it. I don't know what it is about the VR, but it's 5 minutes in, and I'm like, get out of my way. I gotta get to the bathroom and puke my
The thing
brains
that
out.
throws me off the most is not being able to see the handbrake and the shifter.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
like
didn't
being
like that
blind from it the whole time. Strange
either.
to me.
It'd be cool to have like almost well, I guess that wouldn't really work. Like the Apple Vision Pro,
Oh, yeah,
where you can still somewhat
yeah.
see through a little bit, but like only keep the right or left corner, whichever you're doing, right or left-hand drive. That would be kind of cool. But, well, where do you see as far as the progression of drifting with sim racing involved? Like, for example, you're a very young driver. You're a very good driver, especially for your
Somewhat.
age. You're going to say that, I understand that. But you are a good driver for your age, and you have a very capable car. You have a capable sim rig. You are progressing faster than, say, someone like James Dean could at your age. So how do you think drifting is going to be able to combat with that and the driver level and skill level, all that stuff?
So that's what, talking about the competition side, I think going in a Formula Drift would be, like, I think I see myself from a Formula Drift standpoint one day, as long as I can get the backing for it. Like, I see myself personally being a insanely good driver one day. That's bold to say.
I mean, I
but-
believe it, like, because like I was mentioning, the sim stuff is, you have so much opportunity to just continue to train, and it's relatively realistic. So the skill level in drivers has exponentially jumped up high. It's
Right.
it's insane. So
Because you have these
I
drivers
think
like
it's-
Hero. Hero
Yes,
is
dude.
insane.
yeah,
He's an absolute weapon. For
Minoa
his
is
age
fucking
and-
ridiculous.
I believe he drives on the sim a lot too. Like I
oh
think
yeah, he started on him and his whole family.
Yeah.
They'll post videos of them tandeming together, all in the
Yeah.
same room with all their massive rigs. I'm like,
Baller.
dude, we're screwed. We can't keep up. We're not this good.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, just for example, whenever like that first month of you getting on a sim, how drastic of a difference did your driving improve?
I would say it was a lot. It was different to me. So when I got on the sim, that was me learning to drive a stick shift car, driving in general. Because I started on the
shit.
sim at like, I think I want to say I was 11 years old.
Oh,
So I was
wow.
new to everything.
Oh yeah, you started way too. Damn, dude, we're so fucked. I don't know what to do. You better get a sim if you ain't got one now. Well,
worth
cool, dude. I love that. It's you can definitely see the progression.
Yeah.
So where, I guess, you just mentioned Formula Drift. Where do you see yourself in the next couple years in order to get to that point?
I see myself kind of following the same path I'm currently doing, hitting up all these little grassroots competitions around. They seem like the best thing to do right now in terms of competition.
Right.
Because the money's there, the vibes are there, of course. You don't have to have a 1,500 horsepower car to compete. You don't have to have a
Right.
$500,000 team to be able to keep up with everybody.
Absolutely.
As long as the grassroots competitions can keep it
Yeah.
in that point.
Cool, man. Well, you mentioned budget and stuff and marketing and having a good program. So what are some things that you have learned within the industry, especially being under Nappy Boy and having all of these connections?
Right.
What is something that's important to your program when it comes to finding sponsors?
Really putting myself out there, making friends with companies has seemed to have been, that's what I love, having partners, but I will make, like, I don't like to be with a company if I can't be friends, if I can't be face to face and
Right.
hug them and be able to just
It's that type of industry.
have somebody I can call and talk to.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And so forth. I think becoming friends with everybody is really. I see that as more of an opportunity than putting the car itself out there.
Right.
And really,
I mean, just to be real, like these companies are investing a lot in people. So
Right.
if I'm not at least somewhat on a friendship level with
Yeah,
them,
it just-
I feel honestly bad taking any type of product to do, whether I'm giving content back and stuff, obviously,
Right.
but it's still just, if there's no relationship there, it just doesn't
it's an
seem
odd
real.
feeling, yeah.
You know, that's cool, dude. I'm glad that things are working out. I do want to ask about Vengeance because obviously you're very heavily branded in Vengeance. So what is the relationship there? Why do you like their clutches so much? So on and so forth.
Going back to the power plant,
Okay.
talking about the Coyote, they're the reason we went Coyote.
Really?
Because we were talking about the EcoBoost, and we were like, we don't want to do the EcoBoost because the power not being there. So Chris Jewell, the owner of Vengeance Clutch,
Yeah.
he was like, let's do a Coyote. Let's just do something really different. And Kelsey Rawlings and a couple others have started doing the S chassis. And we were like, well, why not give it a try? Because
Yeah.
V8 power's easy to make. They're getting cheaper. They're still expensive.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's do that. They have a clutch kit. They're stage 3, twin disc. It's insane.
How much are those clutches for that?
They're running about $1,100, $1,200.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not.
Right.
But they're around that price range.
Okay. Well, cool,
And
dude.
as far as I know, they're indestructible. I mean,
Never had any issues or anything?
My clutch has lasted longer than our previous motors have. So we're
That's
still the
always a good
original
thing to
one.
have.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You never want to mess with a clutch. God,
No, it's a job.
that's definitely a job. Well, cool, dude. Well, is there anything that you want to mention that should be announced for this year? Any exciting events coming up for you that people should look forward to?
We definitely, I think, speaking of it now, we're going to try to get out to some of the Grid Life events. Catch us at Road Atlanta. And
South Carolina?
I think we're going to be there.
Emo night, baby. Dude.
That's a bucket list track for me.
Oh, it's so good. And you get the kart track too.
Yeah.
So.
Running the high speeds is...
Yeah.
And being able to get really good tandems on the kart tracks, like, superior for me.
Tandem with the road race guys too, you know.
And I think we're gonna get out to Catch My Drift. I think that's one because it's not too far from here. It's only, I think, 6 hours, 7 hours.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
It's not too bad. So.
Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with me before the day gets too freaking crazy.
Sir.
We'll have to definitely get a full episode going.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure.
Speaking of, if you guys have any specific questions you would like to ask him, leave those in the comments, and we'll follow that one up. But
Yes, sir.
appreciate it, dude, and
For sure.
sick, man. Go have fun today.
We'll try to.
Hell yeah.
Who the hell could stop me?
All right. Well, we got Scott Grip Royal, of course, back
Howdy.
on the podcast. So, how's it going today? How's this event going?
Man, off to a good start. Yesterday we had good weather, and I kind of had a rough start to the day with the car. Luckily, Mike and our buddy Mitch are holding down the Grip Royal booth, so I don't have to work in there. And we brought Hot Ice, our S13, pulled it off the
Yeah.
trailer, realized I had broken something due to my own neglect. Everybody leave me alone. And
Nope, we're doing it.
right? And so I battled a couple demons to start the day.
Yeah.
And luckily, the guys at Corey Works came through, brought me the part that I needed. And about noonish, I was able to get the car sorted out there. And then for the rest of the day, I mean, Sasha, Greg, and I were pretty much doing 3-car tandems most of the day, taking people for ride-alongs, a lot of first-time ride-alongs, which was awesome.
Always a good feeling.
Yeah. And the weather held up, which Hopefully it does today. It's looking like really gloomy, and I'm a little worried about that because my car doesn't have wipers or defrost or anything of that nature.
Rain X it is. I got some in the truck if you need it.
I got some, but like honestly, the car gets so hot in the cabin. It's like the defrost is more of the issue than it is the wipers. So
get that. Yep.
And yeah, I was developing, or I wasn't really. Our buddy Chris was developing this like real slimmed down version of a defrost system that we were going to mount into the car.
Really?
Yeah, he designed all the like vent mounts and everything that we would need.
Is it like S chassis specific?
No, it was going to be like a universal kit. I mean,
Oh.
yeah, the vent parts we were going to have were going to be specific to like the duct up under the cowl for the S chassis, of course. But yeah, that stuff's still sitting on a shelf where it has been for like 3 years. So yeah, still no defrost.
Get to it when we get to it. Type deal. Yeah.
And, other things keep taking priority, precedence over that. So
I get that.
But yeah, I mean, as long as the weather holds up, man, I am really looking forward to the day, and hopefully take some more people for ride-alongs and do some tandems with the boys, and call it a good day. You know?
Absolutely. Well, we got to talk a little bit about the issue because I've had throttle cable issues. It's a common issue.
We don't have to talk about it. No.
He's not putting the damn pedal stop correctly in his car.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's shared. It could be helpful information.
Yeah.
So the pedal stop behind my accelerator on the S13 is just essentially it's just compromised. It's bent. It doesn't have some of the factory. I mean, I think it has a part on it that I'm missing. So now I have like a nutsert with a bolt in it, and
Like going through the pedal?
no, just like to kind of stand off of the little like sheet metal piece.
Oh,
but yeah, the sheet metal
that's how I
piece,
did mine.
Yeah, the sheet metal piece is like all warped, and basically if I get two in it and like mash all my body weight into it,
Hercules,
which
and
I'm
everything.
doing because it's an SR car, so. Sometimes I get to, I forget that like you can't push the pedal further. And,
Right.
And so yeah, if that moves, then my pedal is basically overextending the throttle cable, and so the throttle cable on the throttle body, the actual like wheel where the throttle cable attaches is getting pulled like. I don't know what's the right word. Like it's being stressed in a way it's not supposed to. And that compromises the rod that goes through the throttle body, and so yesterday when I unloaded, or Friday when I unloaded the car, I realized my idle was off. Popped the hood.
I had said the same thing to Sasha. I was like, it sounds extremely quiet right now.
Yeah,
it
was
normally
idle
this
low,
low.
and that's what it was the wheel was like moved over a millimeter or two, and so it wasn't really resting completely on the like set screw, right? The adjustment screw. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, and I grabbed it and it like pushed over a millimeter, and I was like, oh no, I bet the rod is broken. Sure enough,
or something.
Yep, sure enough, pulled the cold pipe off, and where the two screws are, which is another common issue, like if you eat one of those screws, if it comes loose and you eat that, it can cost you a motor. So, pull the cold pipe off and looked at it, grabbed the wheel, pulled it, and the rod just separated around the bolt. So luckily I caught it, beforehand. But unfortunately, it was 6 hours from home at the side of the track.
Corey Works came through.
Yep.
Came through
Yeah.
strong.
Sebastian.
Shout out
Sebastian was at the shop. And then later, I actually broke an axle, which was probably compromised because I broke some stuff last weekend at Driven Luck, and I fixed everything, and I was like, oh, this axle is probably good.
Yeah.
And should have known better. But, it is
Part
what it
of
is.
it.
Yep. And then, like an idiot, I didn't pack that axle. I looked in the trailer and was like, oh, there's two axles in here, and one of them's for Mike's Z. And then I had a
So you didn't have a
passenger.
pair.
Yeah, I had a passenger axle for my car, but they're different lengths. And the driver axle was the one that was compromised. So once again, Sebastian had one in his truck, so he came through. And so shout out to Sebastian.
Crazy.
Sebastian,
You the man.
if you ever need parts, man, you let me know. And if you guys need parts and he's at the track, you better go. No, don't go holler at him. I might need those parts. But
Don't swarm his ass.
But yeah, man. So that is a silly little issue, but again, it's kind of one of those components you can't go to the store and buy it.
Yeah.
And they're getting so old. Like, you know, shoot, half the guys here aren't running SRs, even if they're in an S chassis.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
it's
I'll
kind of
ask
an
you
oddball
this,
part.
because most people have asked me since I've had a throttle cable issue,
Yeah.
why not e-throttle?
So honestly, I was recommended that recently when we were having this issue.
Especially with Forrest behind your back.
Yeah, Forrest was like, hey, you could just go drive-by-wire. And I didn't even know that was a thing for SRs
Really?
now, that people had, like, adapted all those components.
Huh.
And I mean, it's also kind of one of those things, I'm breaking this part because of another issue. You know,
True.
the pedal stop could be repaired. I could fix the root
But
of the
in
problem.
theory, with e-throttle, you don't technically need a pedal stop, right? It's just open, close,
You're asking
right?
the wrong guy, man. I don't know. I
mean,
don't have one. So
Forrest, let us know.
yeah, right. But no, I mean, I've never had that problem before. It is really just down on the firewall. That sheet metal needs to be reinforced, modified, whatever.
Right,
It's
right.
compromised. So that's where my issue is coming from. It's not like the throttle body or the cable is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less me not fixing this other thing. And, you know, we all get it. Like, I've had other things to worry about.
Right.
And when that thing's not giving me a problem, I forget about it. So
True.
I need to just make a note and address that, and be more responsible with that issue to prevent it from happening again. Because, yeah, I mean, I've
agree.
gone through, like, let's see, I've had an SR car for like 18 years now, and
Yeah.
you know, different ones, but been on the SR platform for a long time. Never had this issue before, and then in like the last 4 months, I've broken like 4 throttle bodies. So
That's insane.
yeah, so again, it's stupid, but it's my own stupidity. It's
Right.
not. I can't blame it on a part. So yeah, I could throw money at it and change to not have a cable, but personally,
still scares me.
Personally, I like the cable because I can go in the engine bay and grab the wheel, and like, you know, and maybe
Well,
there's
you
no.
feel it.
Maybe
If you
there's no
feel it start
purpose for
fraying
that.
or something, there's usually like some
Some
tightness on the
resistance
cable.
and,
And yeah.
But I mean, again, I've never had issues with that.
Right.
I did have one time where I snapped a cable, but that was more or less poor alignment because of my brackets
Same.
on my manifold. So
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I've been in the car in some sketchy situations with e-throttle as well. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm on the fence of, I personally would rather have cable. It's more mechanical, easier to deal with, I think. But we were coming down, my buddy Matt, in his Godzilla S197,
Uh-huh.
down NCM. So, you know the little bowl turn where it's like, you got a sweeper and then it comes downhill and then back uphill.
Okay.
And it's a pretty steep drop, and like you transition pretty fast, and right as he transitioned coming back uphill, throttle cut off. Yeah, like completely just lost it.
Dang.
Like, you have zero throttle at all, and it almost washed us out into the grass.
Yeah.
And then into the wall. So I was like, dude, even with a half-ass cable throttle that just frayed or something,
Yeah.
which is probably what would have happened in that instance, you still would have been able to manage it at least.
And what would have been? I mean, what was the issue there? Like the pedal just died or something, or
Yeah, so it was the sensor on the pedal is what ended up just going out.
Going
just
bad.
went bad.
Yeah.
And that's scary because like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
no sign whatsoever.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
either working or it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know about it, but
I don't know. We'll see
Anyways.
where the future leads for me, because now I have like spare cables and
Right.
I have all kinds
Too
of stuff in the
invested.
trailer. And like I said, I do kind of like. I guess there's really no purpose behind being able to go in the engine bay and like, brum, brum, but I like that.
it's
It
a
is kinda
turbo
cool.
car thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be talking about the motor standing in front of it with someone and just be like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
want to hear it?
sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess outside of that, I might be going drive. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll see.
Either way, there's work and money to be spent. You know, work to
Right,
be done and money to
right.
be spent. So,
Absolutely, time
typical
for one.
Typical drifting car stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Well, other than that, how's the business going? How's steering wheels and everything?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Grip Royal's doing well. We've got a couple new collabs coming out, and been doing some stuff with you, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss wheels, baby.
Yeah, and yeah, just trying to kind of stay in our lane as usual and just do our thing and work with people who appreciate us and make our little impact in the industry however we can.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, this year we're doing a real hard push on Team Shriek. which is the drift team. And
Where
right
did
now,
that come from, by the way?
So Sasha from Yankee Special and
Yeah.
I were just kind of like talking about doing a team. And Mike and I have kind of always wanted a livery, but I was like, I don't want like Grip Royal down the side of the car.
You want
Not to
some,
bash
like-
my own brand, but like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like wearing your own shirt if you're playing in the band at your own show.
It almost
Like,
comes off a little cringy in a way.
it's just like everybody already kind of associates the cars with Grip Royal because
Right.
we're there with the Grip Royal booth and we're the Grip Royal guys, and
Yeah.
we're, you know, it's just already affiliated, so we don't need to like plaster a sign down. We don't need to plaster a sign down the side, and we want something fun. You know, we wanted
Yeah.
a team name that's fun and just kind of reflects the fun we have with drifting.
Yeah.
And so Sasha and I were chatting and kind of came up with the Shriek thing, and then of course he did all the artistic side of everything. He did all the livery design, the logo design.
Dude's a madman.
Yeah,
with
it's
art.
sick, man.
He's an
So,
artistic genius.
yeah, and then a bunch of most of our team is kind of Memphis based.
Yeah.
And so really it was just a bunch of the homies that, you know, we know love to travel. They're investing in their cars. They're investing into drifting and their own programs.
Yeah.
Whether they're not competing or anything, they're trying to do it right, and they're enjoying themselves, and they're always a pleasure to be around, and they're helpful. You know, just the
They're
kind
good
of
guys. I've
Yeah.
met them all myself, and
Yeah, you
every
know.
one of them I've had good interactions with. So.
They're the kind of guys, like, when you're at an event and you're pitted next to them or you're in the pits or whatever, that you can become friends with very quickly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, everybody was on board. We were like, hey, we got this idea to do a team, and what do you guys think about all doing liveries? We don't have to match. It's really hard to get a bunch of people to match, make their cars the exact same.
Yeah.
So we're like, we'll just all run the livery and have cool, hot cars that are our
I
own
think that
flavors.
looks better.
Yeah.
It
and
keeps your personality to the car.
Yeah, different flavors for different folks, but like we're all still together. So
It's the Skittles team.
yeah, and it works, man. And yeah, you say the Skittles team, like I think of like the Top Garage guys.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
all their cars, bright colors, cool kits, they're rippers, and anytime
yeah.
they go on track, you're like, I want to watch. You know, so.
Yep.
Trying to aspire to be kind of like those guys, and
So is there like a goal for final bout and stuff like that with it?
No,
or is
not
it
really.
just homie vibes?
yeah, just we always wanted our own thing, and so it's finally happened. So again, kind of joins resources and have something to lean on and help each other with, and yeah, that's going really well. So last weekend we were at Riverside, Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Sasha and I got to show the cars, do some driving. Now we're doing some driving out here. The weekend before that, I know Barron, Marcus, and Rushan went to Polecat for one of the iTrack events out there.
Yeah.
And so like their 3 cars were out there representing Team Shriek, and just, yeah, it kind of gives us another purpose to help each other and share media and just, again,
helps with
like
the branding.
lean on each other to do it right and do it well, but we don't all have to bear the weight of the whole effort.
Right.
individually. So-
And I familiarized the Shriek with Grip Royal. So like you said, having the branding out at Polecat when you're not even there,
yeah.
I still relate Grip Royal with it just because
Yeah.
you're like,
Because I'm the
I
Grip
would
Royal
say
guy.
the main associator of it. But
Yeah.
so is Shriek gonna kind of become a sister company to Grip Royal in a sense, or is it
No,
just
not
kind
really.
of the team?
It's just the team thing, you know.
Cool.
And like Sasha's made some stuff, and I've made some stuff, like some merch to kind of go with it. And it's
Yeah.
really just, again, it's more like we want our own. Like I'm wearing the shorts, like we wanted our own shorts. So like we'll sell some to people, but like for the most part, it's for us.
Yeah.
And like it's cool, like doing ride-alongs, like at an event like this, where it's not more about skill development. It's more about like offering the experience to people, and that way they can have like a keepsake if they want. You know, if they want to snag something because they enjoyed it so much and want to represent us, that's cool. And if not, no big deal. And yeah, so it's just
Cool.
a fun team, you know. We'll see where it goes, and there's no intentions except being a team.
Yeah, well, sick, man. Well, as far as this event, you said you've done quite a few ride-alongs. How many have you done for people?
I don't know. I didn't keep
Just
count
not
or
keeping track.
anything. You know, of course, I missed a little bit. I had to make some repairs and things. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, as many as we could. every time we went out, we had outside of like first 2 laps where we were kind of working out some kinks.
Yeah.
Put somebody in the car, and
So there's a lot of first timers, right?
a lot of first timers, yeah, because I think like events like this, IA, I know we came last year
Brings
for
in a
Fuel
newbie
Fest. It was
crowd.
like, it's a big venue. They do a lot of marketing, and it brings in a large volume of people. So with that, you're getting a lot of people they're familiar with the sport. They've seen drifting. They've watched it from the stands, and they're kind of like, I want to ride in that monster truck, and yeah. So for us, we could do more. It's more of like, how quickly can we get through and do a lap? And if we can do more laps, we can do more ride-alongs. And that just kind of goes with the event. So
I get it. Well, I guess you kind of hear from, or I guess everyone has their own story, really, of taking their first ride-along.
Yeah.
So from a driver's perspective, what does it feel like to you to give someone their first ride-along?
I don't really know if I have. I mean, it's like it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
more
do you
of like
think at all about like the effect you might have on their life
I definitely,
afterwards?
I think about the effect more in like the process of doing it, not so
Okay.
much like after. I'm not like after they walk away, I'm not going like, man, I wonder how long they're gonna think about that. It's more like I just
I'll
want to
do
make sure
that,
the
but-
experience is good for them. Like if I don't have someone helping, I want to make sure I load them in well. I'm giving them a lot of guidance, try to make sure that they are comfortable, because I
Yeah.
don't want someone like really nervous and uncomfortable in the car. I don't want them to be in an unsafe situation. So like right now with the car we have, it's buckets, full cage, high door bars,
High maintenance.
4-point harnesses. Yeah, so it's very raw. So they get that full roller coaster experience
Oh,
in
yeah.
this thing. But I want to make sure they got the harnesses on well. I'm going to teach them how to get out of the harness, just to make sure. I'm telling them the only reason that they should ever take this harness off is if there's a fire, and then again, you kind of come with that, and people are like, I mean, think about if you got on a roller coaster and they're like, hey,
Scare you
man,
real
only
quick.
time you take this off is if you're on fire. You're like, well, wait, this thing catches on fire? Like, so
That's a possibility.
yeah, so to kind of give them that heads up, like, hey, look, this is how you take this off. The only reason we're going to do that is if there's a fire, and we're not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it, but I want you to know how to do it if we ever had an accident, and that was the case. So, again, kind of hoping for the best, expect the worst, plan,
Right.
relaying that information to them, making sure they're secure, making sure their helmet is on well. A lot of people don't know how to put on a helmet. They don't know how to do the strap. And so just making sure all that's good and doing it for them instead of making them feel like, ignorant for not knowing how or something of that nature.
Right.
So I kind of just like get them loaded, and then I chat with them a good bit in the, if we're waiting in line or as we're cruising to the track, get their name. Have you ever ridden in a drift car? What do you know about drifting? And just kind of get them chatting, because again, kind of break the ice, make them feel comfortable.
That way they can actually enjoy it.
Yeah,
And
and
not
then
be so on edge.
Always nowadays, people want to hold their phone, and a lot of times I've told people like, don't just put that away,
Yeah.
because honestly, the video is going to look like shit. And
Yeah, they don't know what they're recording, how it should be recorded, all that stuff.
and then you're not really enjoying the experience, and it goes quick, So, but also now I get, especially if it's like a 1 lap pass or something, I get people may want to like show their family or show their friends and stuff like that. So I try to tell people to hold their phone and then not look at their phone.
Don't
I'm
pay
like,
attention to
yeah,
it. Hold it
your
in one
phone,
spot and
hold
just
your
leave
hold
it
your
there.
phone, look over it. Don't watch the phone, because you're gonna dilute the experience for yourself.
Record yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be better anyways. You get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reaction
yeah,
of yourself
right?
and everything.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just
Yeah.
trying to make it comfortable and positive for them. Right now, because we're doing the Team Shriek activation here, and Injuku Racing has kind of like teamed up with the team.
Yeah.
So we're doing like little, like handing out stickers and stuff like that. So when people come and
the
ride,
booth looks incredible, by the way.
Thank you. Shout out
It looks
Sasha.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably talk to Sasha here in a minute and get his opinion on it too.
You got
but
to,
yeah.
Yeah, Sasha killed it on the design, and
Yeah.
it looks fantastic. So bright, colorful, and fun. And so like same thing with the ride-along experience, though, man. We do a ride-along. We're giving away stickers and, like, keychains, and we've got our merch hanging up. I gave a ride to a girl yesterday who was a dirt track racer.
Okay.
She'd been racing dirt track for, like, I think she said 3 or 4 years. And, again, this goes back to, like, just communicating with them
Right.
while we're sitting there. She wants to get into drifting. And she was like, you know, what's like a good way to start learning if we're not in an area where we can drive? So recommending sim driving. You know, it's like, it's a big investment up front, but it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run.
And it'll make you a better driver faster.
Yep. Well, and, you know, it's like more cost efficient. If you're trying to be a good driver in a 2-year time period, go ahead and spend a couple $1,000s up front, practice on that sim. Because if you don't have a track near you, you're traveling, lodging, breaking stuff, and maybe if your skill level's lower, you're breaking stuff more frequently from, like, going off course and things of that nature.
Right.
Very quickly, you can spend a few $1,000s getting into the sport, not only like building your car, but I mean just trying to use your car. And so, giving her some recommendations there, and then she's like, I'm gonna get a 350Z. Maybe she even said she has one. But so we come back, and Juku has these Noboris they sent us that have, like, S13, S14, 350Z, 370Z
like
on
little
them.
silhouette designs.
Yeah. So, like, we come back, and she's all pumped, and I'm like, hey, thanks for riding, and, you know, we're say our goodbyes. I hop in the trailer, and I'm like, hey, this flag has a 350Z on it. I think you're gonna like it. And she's like, sick.
That's so cool, dude.
And just kind of doing that kind of stuff and making it fun for the experience. You know?
Absolutely.
So.
Well, just for I know that's kind of a lot of advice, but if you could pinpoint some of the best advice for hosting your own ride-alongs, because for me personally, I had a culture shock at Fuel Fest, and, like, you need a lot of help. In order to do stuff like that. So if you could pinpoint, what are some key things that you should focus on when you are having to host your own ride-alongs?
Well, I mean, I think, like, because, you know, we were both at Fuel Fest. I think the difference there was when they were doing ride-alongs, it was such a high demand, and the turnover rate was really, really demanding and fast.
Yeah,
so you kind of felt overwhelmed.
The track layout made it so fast-paced.
Yep. And, like, the way that you were loading people and where you were wasn't necessarily in your pit. You know, it was kind of on it was on a hot pit on track. So you kind of couldn't even do it as one person because it was
impossible.
20 people trying to ride with you right now, and then you don't, like, have your own space really. So you kind of needed that helper to load in, take names, take numbers, whatever, to call people, things of that nature. So in a less stressful environment, I would say to just communicate with everyone would be the best thing. You know, if you got 4 people that walk up at once, then you kind of got to just ask them, like, hey, can you guys, like, make a line? Ironically, yesterday, people formed their own line at our booth. And literally were just waiting there in line. We didn't say anything. They made their own line. And so when we came back,
that's impressive, actually.
We came back from a run, and, like, I was like, "Whoa, this is cool!"
Hell yeah, dude!
Yeah, and so
Let's get you signed up.
Yeah, we came back from a run, and I was like, "All right, guys, you made your own line. That's awesome!" Like, pumping them up, because, you know, the worst thing you can do is not acknowledge people.
Yeah,
you know, if you're, like,
I totally get that.
In your own zone, worried about the car, and I get it. There's a time and a place. Where, you know, when someone's trying to, hey man, can I get a ride along? You're literally, like, working on the car. You'd be like, hey, now let me get to you in a second, like, but you want to say, like, now's not the time, my guy, like, don't you see I have this turbo in my hand, you know, or whatever. Like, it's not on the car anymore, man. How am I gonna give you a ride? But no, I think just communicating with people, and you know, like I said, these people made their own line, so I acknowledge that and just kind of mention, hey, that's awesome that you guys did that. We see you. We're going to get the next people in the car. Thank you for waiting. We appreciate you wanting to ride with us. You know, it's really cool. You selected us out of all the cars that are here.
It does feel good.
And you're waiting. Like, I don't know. I hate standing in line. Like,
I do too.
Like,
I refuse to.
The only reason I'll stand in line is for a food truck. And even then, I'm like, man, I hope this
tacos,
is good,
brother.
Yeah. I hope this is good, man. I sure am hungry. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad the event's going good. I'm glad you're getting some ride-alongs in. Is there anything special we should look forward to in the future? I know we've got the sim wheels and stuff happening and all that.
Yeah, we just did some new steering wheels with Grip Royal for like simulator specific.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like now that most people are on direct drive, you can run any steering wheel. It's going to be able to handle it just fine.
Right.
But for your lighter setups that are using like gears and stuff like that, which I believe is how those are built. So a couple smaller wheels for like grip driving too.
True.
And
Yep.
like I said, we got a couple collabs that'll drop soon this year. Other than that, man, we just got a full show schedule as normal.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do as much as we can when we're at home, and then get on the road, and then get back and play recovery. It never ends. So
Yeah.
just
What
trying
was
to
the
live it
next
up.
couple of string of events you got?
You would ask me that. So the next event that I have is, I think you're coming here for Fuel Fest, right?
I'll be here, but I'll just be doing media for that one.
Okay. Yeah, so that same weekend in Texas, 144, like Nate Hamilton's company, is going to be hosting a drift event at Texas, the Motorsports Ranch is what it's called.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and it's I think it's in Crescent, Texas.
Yes. Crescent.
And I think
That's what it
people
was.
refer to it as Crescent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been. It's a road course. They actually have 2 road courses, and
It's fun.
They're going to be hosting some drifting in between, like the road racing stuff and the grip driving.
Yeah.
I forget the different classes that they have, but yeah, it's called Apex Fest. So I'm going to be going to that and helping run operations there and stuff.
Sick,
and
dude.
really looking forward
I
to it.
want to go back out there. That track is incredible.
Is it
I
sick?
drove it last year, and
Really?
it's incredible, dude.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard it's got a lot of elevation. They call it like the Texas Toge or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like, you could almost resemble it a little bit to Polecat. It's not as quite drastic
Okay.
as elevation changes and stuff. Not as pretty with all the trees and everything. It's pretty open.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible track.
Yeah, it looks really
Definitely.
nice. I see
Yeah.
that they have like houses out there and tons
Oh
of
yeah, the
garages
facility
and stuff.
itself is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. Just to check out a new spot, be kind of on the ground level of what potentially could be more events at a new track.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a nice track, that's always super cool. And a road course, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then, honestly, man, I have to look at my schedule. There's a bunch of the
I feel you, dude.
stuff that we go to over and over again.
Yeah.
But trying to focus more on the events that allow us to vend, also allow us to drive or showcase the cars. Doing a few of the Slammed Enough shows this year too, which we're kind of local to them, but they tour all over the place. So we don't really get to do drifting at all those events, but it is cool to like go set up the vendor booths, showcase the cars, and talk about the cars. Be a little more present to discuss drifting and the cars and stuff. So
That's awesome, man. Well, cool. I'm glad it's going well, and I'm excited to see how the season goes.
yeah, man. Sorry, this 15 minutes turned into like 40. When I get to talk.
No, I'm cool with this, dude.
Yeah.
I'm always down to chat with you. So
Cool.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah,
and,
dude. Let me get out of here.
appreciate
Let's
you
get
stopping
Sasha
by,
in the,
bro.
Let's get Sasha in the seat.
Well, brother, we are here with Sasha Rayevsky.
Nailed it.
Nailed it? Yes, dude.
That's
It's
my
always
boy.
a hard
Proud
one.
of you, man.
I know. So, how's it going? We're at Import Alliance. How's the event going for you? Car, everything like that?
It's going good. It's the first time I've been coming to this event to vend for 3 years now. It's the first time I've gotten to drive.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you like the pavement out there, the little parking lot?
She gritty.
At least it's not hot lap style. You'd be destroying tires right now.
Yeah. I went through up here and a little bit yesterday, and we were just nonstop driving after lunch. Car's doing good. Same IS. She's just trucking along,
Yeah.
literally. But Yeah,
Give a
it's been
little
fun.
rundown on the car for anyone that doesn't remember
Yeah,
or
so
know.
it's a 2003 Lexus IS 300 factory manual. It's very simple build. Solid diff bushings, solid subframe bushings, coilovers from BC, CNC angle kit, FDF high clearance tension arms for caster, and a BRZ diff and some Kansei wheels.
How do you like the CNC kit? Because I've been seeing, I know we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I see it a lot, especially like on Drift HQ. They came out with it, brought them on board. It's a Polish company.
Yeah.
What do you think about the kit? What do you think about their parts?
Overall, I don't have any complaints. The only thing is like since it's a sandwich style kit, it uses all OEM style stuff. You just have to make sure you torque the bolts that go through the knuckle to a factory spec, which is like 88 foot-pounds. If you don't, they'll fall out. Ask me how I know.
When did that happen?
It happened about, I'll say it's like 3 months after I installed the kit.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was in my driveway. I went to back
that's
out,
good. Okay,
and
okay.
the sandwich plate literally like lifted off and pivoted on one of the dowels, and because one bolt was still in there, but it just straight up sheared the bolt. So it's not like the bolt fell out; it just straight up sheared it.
Damn.
Which was like whatever. Like these are 20.
It's just a standard bolt, though,
Yeah,
right?
it's a 20-year-old
okay.
like Lexus bolt. So I had a buddy of mine works at Lexus. I ordered new ones, and he was like, "Here's torque
peasy.
specs." I went click, 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 click. Haven't had any issues since.
Sick,
And same
dude,
thing with
okay.
the tension arms. I had the same issue with my FDF arms.
Yeah.
Nothing against FDF, great product. It was I didn't torque it to factory spec.
Yeah.
Because me being me, I was like, yeah, oga doga doga doga, and we're good to go.
I mean, that's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
Haven't had the problems, but maybe Nissan is just like
Yeah, I think Nissan's
sloppy or something, I
little
don't know.
looser on their tolerances.
right.
But no, the Lexus is good, man. Just bone stock GE. I added a header to it because of all the travel. I was scared
Yeah.
of the catalytic converters like clogging. But I did notice like a nice, like lower mid-range, not necessarily a pickup in horsepower, but less like resistance.
Yeah.
Because like under $4,000, I could feel the car just kind of like waiting to get into it, and then now it's just like it just goes, and then VVTI kicks in, and it's like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So how much do those cars actually make? Like how much power does
215 at the crank.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll be lucky if I have like 170 wheel horsepower.
Yeah. So what tire sizes and stuff are you running on that? Because that would make that a very good comparable car to like a 350Z as a starter vehicle.
Yeah, it's definitely very much like a 350Z, just less horsepower.
Right.
Like a Z is definitely a lot easier to drive. Like the IS, you really kind of have to like, you got to be mean to it. You got to like throw it around and like just give it the beans.
You have to drive it like a man.
Yeah, exactly. But I run, granted, like since I'm wide-bodied, I run like a 10.5 rear wheel. Might be running 10.5.
You said that shit up front too.
Yeah, I had them at Driven Luck. I had 10.5
so
up front.
insane to me.
And
So,
just
but how wide are your overs? They're not that
50 mil.
wide. Oh wow, they're 50 mil. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because like stock body, like you run like a 9.5 plus 38.
Wow. See, I run by nines all the way around. Well,
Yeah.
no, sorry. 9.5's in the rear, 9's up front.
Yeah.
I like a skinny tire up front. It's very makes it more agile. Or
For me,
something,
like the
I don't know.
10.5s didn't really feel any different.
Crazy.
So like if I put like right now, like I've got my actual drift setup on the car.
Yeah.
So I've got the Kansei Neos in the 9 plus 22 up front with a 651 on it.
Yeah.
And then in the rear, I've got the 10.5 plus 12s with like a 245, which I could run a 255 or a 265, like a 400 tread wear.
Yeah, you were doing it stupid cold.
Yeah.
It's a little rough, but
yeah, those were
you
like
can do it.
those were the 200 tread wears. That we had to crank
Yeah.
those up. But like the 400 tread wears and the
Talk
255
about really
or
driving the
265.
piss out of the car.
Yeah. It
you
just
were on
depends
worse tires up front too at Stupid Cold, right? You were on like street tires.
Yeah, I was on street tires. Like so, like we had like a lot of
Yeah.
like front end slip there. Like this, I had to air up the fronts to get a little more slip because it was pivoting so hard, and because it's like
just like driving around the front.
yeah, it'd go and just like the front and just kick out real quick. And I'm like, no, I wanna slide this out a little.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got it dialed in after a few laps and after Scott replaced his axle and all sorts of other stuff. I had an exhaust bolt that left. Is this common that Y pipe vibrates so hard? Because it's got like a transmission mat with
especially
like
out here,
isolators.
it's so bumpy.
Yeah. And I drove the car 12 hours. here.
With a trailer?
Yeah, with a trailer.
Okay, yeah, explain that setup. I forgot all about that. So
Yeah.
you have the trailer actually on the drift car. Your drift car is your daily type deal,
Yeah.
and the thing goes everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So like, since I travel vend and like that's one of my main sources of income.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, shit. I was like, it's hard to find someone else to come with me and drive my van and load it up or like put the trailer behind it and do all this crap and like spend double the gas money because I don't have a trailer to I don't have a truck and trailer to like haul the car.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it, let me do some Googling.
Fuck truck, trailer.
Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, the car can handle a good amount of weight. Like it's like a 3,000 pound towing capacity.
Yeah.
And I was like, found the trailer hitch. I didn't like how it mounted completely because it uses like the spare tire well.
Yeah.
Then that's like thin sheet metal. So I just added an extra 1/4 inch steel plate on the other side.
Smart.
So I sandwiched it.
Yep.
Made sure it's all good, got the right hitch, and just make sure I don't have too much tongue weight. Like I raised the coilovers like a 1/4 inch. Like,
that's crazy.
And my buddy Mike at MTR Motorsports, like he built me a custom.
Let them get it out.
Yeah, he built me a custom tire rack for the trailer. Because it's just a little open 5x10.
Yeah.
I put trailer
Super
brakes
small.
on it to like make it easier on the car.
That's smart.
Because like those brakes they're not bad, but they're not like that beefy.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been kill. Like shout out to Laurent from Twitch Drift, Team Upsoar, with the gold soarer.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's the first person I ever saw like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's been.
It
giving
reminds
all sorts
me of the
pointers.
trailer that Josiah just built.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
SDF.
way less sophisticated.
Oh yeah, he went
Josiah's is like
mad.
yeah.
Total like geek engineer on it. And
Yeah.
which love it. It turned out fucking fantastic.
Like low key, Josiah, you should like sell those as kits. Just, like,
Dude, right?
DIY weld it yourself kits. That'd be sick.
People would buy it.
People buy the
Absolutely,
hell out of
especially
it.
for Drift Week. That would be, which I think that's what that trailer was built
Yeah.
for. Someone for Drift
Yeah, I
Week.
think one of his
but
customers needed it for Drift
So
Week.
cool, dude. I love that you put Conse's on it and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
I had to
It's-
rep, the brand. I love Chris and the brand, and I was like, fuck it. And I had to,
Tell him to paint match it, or I guess wrap match.
Oh wait, we
or
are
whatever.
painting it. Scott and I are gonna paint it. It's gonna get some more stuff done because I've had this trailer for years. Like we use it to like haul dirt and move random shit because my wife's a flower farmer.
That's right.
Yeah,
okay,
she's a farm assistant, a
it
flower
all makes
farmer.
sense.
So
I
I
got
was
it.
like, I'll still need this thing to like do that task.
Right.
So I'm gonna add some expanded metal like in some of the openings to like make it easier for that stuff and also safer for me to like haul shit 12 hours, 16 hours across the country.
Yeah.
And get a little tarp, but like yeah, add a little trailer box to it, and keep all my shit in there, add some spacers, and put my Astros on it.
Yeah.
Because they got a little bent up after shipping, so it's like don't want to run those with the amount of
Mint
weights I'm
trailer
running, but
wheels.
they're perfect for the trailer.
Totally fine.
and yeah, dude, like I would thought it was gonna be like a real heavy load.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's probably fully loaded up for this trip, maybe 1,600 pounds with the trailer.
That's not bad at all.
No, and I was like, oh, we'll see. Dude, the car did like 16.5 miles to the gallon.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's dumb. I was like, dude, the car gets 20 miles on average.
Yeah.
So it's like, this
That's
is way
insane.
cheaper than paying for a whole other vehicle to like tow my boot setup.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Fuck that.
And I mean, you've seen the boot setup. It's not a small boot setup.
Oh no! By the way, the boost setup is incredible.
Thank
I
you.
love it. You are a hell of an artist, and like we mentioned on Scott's portion of this podcast, the new one for Shriek,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it,
Yeah, I'm
dude.
super stoked to like have gotten to do that project, and shout out to Njuku for like enabling us, and I'm stoked to support them. They support us, and they've been, the #1 like drift like place to buy stuff for years. So it's like,
They were one of
yeah.
the first, I think.
yeah.
Like, as far as like the big or I guess not manufacturer, like distributing
a
companies
one-stop
or what. You
shop.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But-
just want them to make some like. I've been hounding them on making some IS 300 parts. I know it's expensive and stuff to do, but they've been doing a ton, and they're new. I gotta plug this because like I got their new MBSE exhaust, their 3-inch catback.
Yeah.
Boy, that thing sounds smooth.
Does it really?
Dude, it's quieter than the 2 1/4 exhaust that was on the car.
No shit.
Yeah. And it sounds
That's crazy.
so smooth. It doesn't sound like a VQ.
Yeah, like a tin can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like
I get that.
like a real fat, smooth tone. They've got like a more race version too.
Right.
Which kind of has the more like GT spec like muffler.
Mm-hmm.
But since I drive my car 400,000 miles a year, I was like, yeah, let me get the quieter one.
Yeah, I get that. Dude, you'd have the perfect drift week car right now.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Lucy, what's up?
Hey, there you go.
I'm poor.
Help a brother out, man. Shit. Well, I know you plan on going 2J or 1J.
Yeah,
right?
1J.
1J? Okay.
Yeah.
I think, who was it? Was it Ross going 2J? Or is he
Ross is
going 1J?
going
as
1J.
well?
He's going non-VVTi. I'm
what
going
it is.
VVTi.
Okay. So explain that. When you plan on doing it? What, like, type of route with turbo setup? Like, what do you want to do with that?
Yeah, so I've got a N54 big box BMW ZF transmission queued up for it. Set the shop,
Sick.
picked one up.
Why'd you go that route?
Chris Knapp,
Oh,
literally talked to
sense.
him because I was like, didn't want to do CD because like the ISs really aren't that big of a car.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah.
have to absolutely obliterate my transmission tunnel, and then also have to get like, they're like $800 transmissions, like whatever. But then it's like, which adapter kit do I want? Like I really like the
Right,
fish kit
yeah.
because it's like a full
go down
bell
a rabbit
housing.
hole doing that
But it's
shit.
like, oh, there's $4,000 for that. And then I'm gonna need a drive shaft regardless. Like, oh, and then I need another $700 for the Serial 9 shifter kit. So it's like, just to like hopefully like make sure it fits in the right spot.
Yep.
I was like, the ZF, it's like that transmission can handle 1,200 horsepower all day.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get close to that. It's got great gear ratio. It has an overdrive, and
True.
it's the DSSR, so I can like adjust it to the exact length that I want it. And
So
PMC
convenient.
makes the a JZX chassis mounted shifter,
Oh,
which the IS
okay.
has the same bolt pattern because it's a JZX 110.
Yeah.
So like I don't have to worry about that. Smaller package, like
That would be
bulletproof
killer,
transmission, and I can leave the
man.
Guibo, an OEM Guibo on it to
Yeah.
like take some of that, absorb some of that shock.
Man,
so-
that'd be cool.
And it pairs perfectly with the stock manual diff, which I still have, the 372. So I put in a 410
Damn
for
near
like,
just pieced together.
yeah,
at that
because Chris
point,
Knapp was like,
man.
oh yeah, dude, IS, you still have the 370s, like get that, get this, get the PMC kit, you're good to go. I'm like, what's up?
So how much total in on all of those parts do you think you would be, or are you? I guess.
MSRP, so like the transmission I bought for $1,500, a single like sprung clutch PMC kit for a 1J is like, I think right about $1,500 as well,
Okay. So
which
about
is like,
three.
with the clutch, so it's like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. Not at all.
And then the 1J swap itself, we got $4,500 for a motor on average. I don't like to do anything hard. I was like, I'd rather spend the money and make it plug and play, and I need a new harness anyways because mine's
Wiring specialties.
Panic.
Panic.
Panic makes an entire plug and play 1J
Really?
link ECU.
Where are they based out of?
In all honesty, I don't know, but they're phenomenal. Like I've had some
Huh.
KA stuff from
I
them.
haven't heard much about them.
They're killer,
Why?
dude. They are like wizards with wiring.
Oh, well,
and
I hate
like-
wiring, so
Dude,
Cool
no,
with
they're
it.
like, I got my buddy to do, and they're doing like a jumper harness for his CA18,
yeah.
and they've got a monsoon kit, and so they're like, yeah, here you go, bam, 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 knock it all out. They ask
So
an insane
cool.
amount of questions, which
Of
is
course,
awesome.
yeah. Wiring specialties the
But
same
yeah,
way.
like this whole kit, it's like, it's a plug and play. Dropped it in. ECU goes into the factory location. I still get to retain AC and cruise control functionality. So like
You get
that's
your
my
dash?
biggest thing. I could still use my stock dash. I'll probably switch to like a Haltech IC7 or something.
Nah, don't do it.
Well, I
Stock
haven't-
dash is a flex, dude.
Well, the problem is like in the manual ISs it runs off of a transmission
Speed
based-
sensor?
Yeah.
Ah, I gotcha. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like I would like to keep the Altezza cluster, so I might just like maybe get like a GPS sensor and like try and wire in that for the speedo.
Yeah.
But then I would have two different sensors, two different like input calibrators for the Altezza, since that's a 4-cylinder.
Well, if you're So if you're already getting the harness, though, why wouldn't that just have like a CAN bus module to convert all of that?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure mine uses
I'm gonna
the
email
same
them
thing.
because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna email Pan and be like,
Yeah.
what can we do about this? You guys are way smarter than me.
I'm almost positive the RB is a speed sensor on the trans too, and it converts it all for
well,
the
so
Z.
that's the issue. Is like the BMW doesn't have that speed sensor. The BMW Trans.
Oh, but no, Z's have speed sensors on the wheels, on the back of the hub.
Well, yeah, and then these have ABS sensors. So
Maybe I'm wrong
I
on
could
that,
run. Maybe I
actually.
could run like.
Don't take my word on that.
Maybe I could run like an ABS sensor, GPS thing or something. Like I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Regardless, like
It's got to be doable.
I'm not messed up about running an IC7
Yeah.
or something like that, or like a Link.
Shout
dash.
out Link, baby.
Yeah, like it's already gonna be a Link ECU, so it's like.
Would you do plug and play, or would you go like a full on like?
Panic uses the G4X,
Yeah,
and
that's a
So,
good ECU.
yeah.
I love that one. The new ones that they came out with recently at PRI were pretty
Oh, the
impressive
Voodoos?
with some of the features and stuff you could do with
yeah,
them.
those are like
But yeah,
incredible ECUs. Like if I was like full
Yeah,
race car
dude.
and like all that stuff, like for sure. But
yeah.
I'm not.
I love my plug and play. Does everything I need to. Have all the sensors I want, and it works. It's all I could ask for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So like honestly, like safely, like for the 1J swap, it's probably gonna cost me another like 9 or 10 grand
Yeah.
to finish it. But like I'm just extra about it. And for a long time, like I'm probably just gonna run it with the stock turbo. Crank it up a little. I'll probably get like a new wastegate and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so I can run more boost in a factory trim.
Do you have a number you're looking to hit?
Man,
or
if I can
anything?
hit like 300 wheel horsepower, I'll be stoked. And then down the line, I'll probably like to switch to like a G30 size turbo.
Yeah.
Keep it bottom out, but I want one of those like super sick like tubular manifold that's bottom out that like looks hot as hell. Like it's like yeah,
You said bottom mount
yeah,
or top mount?
bottom out, just to keep all the 1J noises.
Oh, okay.
Like I want that. There's a dude on the internet who made his own on Instagram. He's got a
Yeah.
IS, and it's a really really cool looking manifold. I'm like, I want that. Maybe I'll get like Spoon to like make it or something.
There
But
you
I'll
go.
have to be nice about his car being orange. So that's gonna be hard for me. I
That
love you,
is a good.
Spoon.
He's got a good orange.
It's a good orange.
It's a good orange.
I've seen a lot worse, and that car's
Yeah.
wicked. He
Yeah.
let me drive it when
Insanely impressed by that
they.
car.
It's a wicked car.
Hell
Just
yeah.
hope he gets his axle stuff sorted.
Apparently he did,
Good.
supposedly. So
Good.
I hope it works out.
Yeah, that thing's as a weapon for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, cool, dude. What's the season looking like for you? What's the next couple events and stuff?
Busy. So yeah, we'll be doing Team Shriek stuff over in Nashville in mid-April. Then I've got a private day for my buddy's birthday, Junius, over at camps. So it'll be my first time driving camps, which I'm excited for. That's only like 3.5 hours from me,
That's crazy.
which is super cool.
I want to drive there eventually.
A couple like car show like slammed enough events lined up for sure, just to like sling t-shirts. So
Yeah.
help me fund this 1J in my life. So like buy some t-shirts. RJ's gonna be fixing my website
ToeCon?
next month. We got
Can't miss
ToeCon.
ToeCon.
We got
ToeCon.
Yeah, ToeCon coming up. Yeah, we got a bunch of events. I want to try and come out to the Drift HQ.
Do it.
At 4th
Do
of
it.
July for CMP.
Come out to some grid lives too, bro. Got to.
I'd like
Hit
to. They're
one.
expensive for me, man, and they're all so far away.
Oh yeah, that is true. You go
Like-
to Texas? Wait, no, that's not anymore. Oh, did they ever do one in Texas actually?
I don't think that. Well, no, there's no mountains in
There's
Texas.
one. Well, I know that, but I swear there was. Anyways,
Yeah, we got
we'll
a ton
force
of
them out to a
events.
grid life at some point.
Yeah, I've done Grid Life Midwest in the past.
Oh, okay, so that's the good one,
Yeah,
anyways.
but
yeah.
like my car's not caged or anything, so like it's hard for me to like justify doing that. Like it's a sick event.
South Carolina would be good
Yeah,
because you get the road course and then you get the kart track as well.
Yeah.
So the road course you could go fuck around on. do a
exactly. That'd be
couple
perfect for
laps,
me. Like yeah,
just
I want to like
beat
yeah,
up the car track.
I want to keep this car like more streetable. Like I'd like to if I get the 1J done and like get decent enough at driving and can afford it. I'd like to do Drift Indy Street League next year.
Sick, dude.
That's
Definitely
something
do that.
like I really like Drift Indy. I like doing that No Star Bash last year.
people.
Yeah, good people. I love Edgar, so it's like I think it'd be really fun. I'm not super competitive, but I think that's a type of series that's like competitive enough for me to like still have a lot of fun. Because I don't give a shit if I get knocked
absolutely.
out. I'm like, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
Some good ass drivers up there,
yeah,
man.
yeah, that's
Those
real
dudes
impressive. That's
rip.
why like I really need to get my chops down. And luckily, like driving with Scott and like the Shriek boys, like,
Yeah.
tandeming at Stupico was my first time ever. And we're
No
like
shit.
3 laps in. I was like, yeah, 6-car tandems, let's roll.
Okay, actually, I think I remember you saying that. Yeah. That's when you were first starting with the left foot braking.
Yeah, kind of
stuff.
getting more
Yeah,
comfortable
yeah.
with that and really understanding it. And I've gotten to drive like a couple other cars lately, like my buddy's 1J, like 400 horsepower, like S13.
It's always good to drive different
Dude,
setups.
that thing is a monster. I was like, man, I cannot wait to have
Like, yeah,
some
I need
power.
to finish my swap.
Yeah, because right now I'm like pedal to the floor,
Yeah.
and then just good. No lift.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been fun, man. It's been such a blast, like giving people ride-alongs all day yesterday, and like
And a
just,
lot of
like,
newbies
having,
and stuff.
Yeah, and like having a blast. People are just like, dude, that was wild. And like, cause my car's so slow, Scott gets to just like really run up onto my door.
Yeah.
And like, I could see him
You
in
can
like
hear the
peripherals
turbo noises
and
and
hear the
shit.
noises, and like the people in the car are just like,
they're freaking the fuck out. I
yeah,
love it,
it's
dude.
cool as shit.
so
It's such a
awesome.
cool feeling, getting to like show people that.
Absolutely. I assume you do ride-alongs at every event you go to, right?
Yeah, especially like people ask and stuff. Like, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's fun.
Cool.
And like, yeah, just kind of show like you don't need like a crazy car.
No.
And especially
Not
like
at all.
locally, like I've done a couple of our local like airport events, and have like had other like younger drivers and stuff ride with me.
Right.
And like, or like people that are wanting to get into drifting, and they're like, "Oh, is your car turbo?" And it's like, "No, man, this is about as basic as you can get with this car."
A stock-ass car that looks
Yeah,
cool as
just
fuck.
I was like, I put more effort and money into like making it look cool than anything else.
Aesthetics. More important.
Yeah, I kissed the barrier at Driven Luck last week, so I broke a taillight.
Broke half your heart a little bit, you know.
Not really. Like, well, the funny thing is,
Over a
like,
taillight.
as soon as I hit it, like I like the car more now that it's got scuffs on it.
Adds character. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like for
Great.
me, I'm
No
just like
biggie.
for me, it's like
I feel you.
I'm not scared of it. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful car, but like I didn't want to be scared of it and be like, oh, I can't do this because like I might do something and like
Till it gets to the point where you're like, all right, I think this car is taking enough.
yeah.
It's a little banged up.
Yeah. Once it gets to that point, I'm like, she's gonna get cleaned up for sure, and I'm gonna keep her clean. But it's like, like the KBD kit, like I could have got a new one, but like the amount of time it would have taken to redo everything and all this crap, and like I still have a business to run.
Especially if you're gonna run the same exact livery.
Yeah.
It's so hard to realign a livery
Exactly.
after
I
that,
have
dude.
to, and I'm the one having to cut it and layer it
Yeah.
and all this crap, and I'm
And it'll
like,
be
I
more
don't wanna
expensive
do
for
that.
the vinyl too, because you're not getting as much cut.
Exactly. Well, like I mean,
Because y'all did all of them at once, and it became cheap as fuck to do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, but like I'm the one that buys it all the material and stuff, anyways, and cuts
Yeah.
it and layers it. So it's like, it's a shitload of work on my end. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And so I was like, and then with adding the trailer hitch, I needed that gap open anyway. So I was like, fuck
That's
it, we'll just
true,
cut
yeah.
this. Because like after Stupid Cold, with my exhaust getting bashed in with Ross's door and stuff, like it just melted. Like it was like OEM opening, and then it was like melted all the way here. So
That's how mine
I
was after
like, I'm
Polecat.
just gonna cut all this out, and it looks cool. It still has like kind of like that street style, like aggressive kit.
The
but-
hitch doesn't stick out like a sore thumb
yeah.
either. You
Only
don't
when
hardly
I
notice
actually put
it.
the ball, it's got that weird Euro boner thing.
That's dude. You ought to put a sign on it for while you're drifting.
Yeah.
Just a little butt plug sign, you know.
Oh my God! How did you get some truck nuts?
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad the event's going good, and I hope this season goes great for you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to
Thanks for
see you at
stopping by.
other events, and yeah, we got TogeCon coming up September 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
So, luckily we got a little bit of time for that, but yeah, it's a busy schedule this year. I think we got like 12 or 13 events lined up.
Awesome.
So,
It's good to hear.
yeah.
Well, look forward to it, man, and I hope it goes well.
Hell yeah, appreciate
you
it. Thanks for
stopping
having me
by,
on here, dude.
RJay, very special one, new face to the
Hello.
channel. But how's it going this weekend? You're here for Yankee Special?
Yep,
in Port
here
Alliance?
running Yankee Specials booth. It's great. This is my first time in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've only ever driven through Georgia before. I've never actually stopped,
That's
so this is my
crazy.
first time here.
Okay.
It took me just as long to get from the hotel, or it took me just as long to get from the airport to our Airbnb as it did for me to fly here from Connecticut.
Oh, hell no.
2 hours to
That's
fly in
rough,
from Hartford
dude.
to Atlanta, 2 hours like flat. Took me 45 minutes to figure out how to get out of the airport and how to get to the ride share area. And then it was a 45, 50 minute Uber to the Airbnb.
That's insane, dude. Screw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta several times because I don't live very far from it, but it's always hectic.
It was confusing. I have heard Atlanta is an hour from Atlanta, and they were not kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get to go like experience downtown or anything?
No, I landed right
all?
at the airport, just tried to get an Uber, figure out where to go, and then it was just kind of like wearing a hoodie and pants because, it was like 40 degrees in Connecticut, and I landed here, and it was 80, so I was a little ill-prepared for that when I got here.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm hot, I'm hungry, and I'm agitated trying to figure out where to go.
With no transportation.
No transportation.
Oh,
And Sasha was still here doing his setup because I couldn't get in early enough to come in and help set up.
Right.
So he's got me for breakdown, but not for the build-up.
Ah, gotcha. Well, cool. Well, what do you think of Import Alliance? Because I assume this is your first Import Alliance.
This is my
as well.
first Import Alliance, and so far, I guess my opinion is going to be very dull because I have not left the booth.
Ah, that's true.
I walked 5 miles yesterday in that booth, just in a square. So I haven't gotten a chance to walk around, but from when I did show up the first day and I saw everyone kind of getting together, I did notice that the quality of the builds was a little bit higher than what I've seen lately, which was nice.
Yeah, you do tend to get more of like the show car stuff here. It's not really motorsports focused and all that. Like even the merch that sells is people want flashy stuff. It's not
I've noticed
really,
that when I did get to poke around real quick.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, cool. We hope you get some time to actually go see some stuff.
If my temporary weekend boss lets me have another break.
Damn it, Sasha. What a
slave driver
you suck.
over there.
Hell yeah. Well, I know what most people want to hear from is like your venture out of Jimmy and Oaks Garage and all of that. So how has that been for you? What's been going on? What are you
going
doing
good.
now?
It's an odd transition because if most people don't know, I was full-time with Jimmy for almost 5 years, but I was a part of the channel since the very beginning, so it was 9 years. So I had almost a decade there.
Crazy.
So it's quite the change up. I had full-time jobs, working on things with him on the channel, helping film, working cars and stuff, and then I transitioned into full-time work. So it's definitely taken some time to get used to.
Yeah.
And I'm navigating through a couple other things, just trying to figure out what else I would like to do. I'm doing a lot of more freelance stuff right now. Like Sasha's hired me to come down here this weekend and give him a hand with the booth and do some merchandise stuff, help him out with his website and a few other things. So I'm doing that for a handful of other companies while I kind of figure out what venture I want to take next. It's definitely... It's less stressful and it's more stressful because you're trying to make your own schedule and be responsible for yourself rather than just kind of help out at one specific place. But it's definitely nice. I've needed a break for a while, and instead of just doing as much car stuff as I would have done over the past couple of years, I've just been tucking some money away on the side so that way I could be comfortable while I try to figure things out. Like, I don't need to go have a full-time job tomorrow. I've set myself up for, like half a year just to be able to really take my time and figure things out because we both had different plans on how we wanted things to go with that, and there's no animosity between Jimmy and I on anything that went through with my departure. It was just like, hey, you know what, I think I'm going to go on a different course. I'd like to try something else. I'm going to take my time and figure it out that way. So it's slow going. And I was like, people always ask me like, what are you up to? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I got things here
how's
and
the
there.
new gig going?
Yeah, they say I'm like, I don't know.
What gig?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them.
That's crazy.
I'm working with multiple companies, which is nice. So a mix of like being freelance and being in-house. Like there's one place that I'm there 3 or 4 days a week helping out at a fabrication shop, Accurate Fabrication, going in there, helping with their office work, doing their website development, and helping them like do basic day-to-day things. Like they really needed to update their scheduling system and figure out ways to bring product in. So I go in and I'm doing that. That's near another company I'm dealing with. Yeah. So basically it's just kind of like I've always been really good at like need someone to come in and help bring them up to another level. So it'd be like, I don't know how to do this, this, and this. Well, I know how to do that. Let me come in. I'll run it through, give a couple months, and then you hit the ground running. It's almost like I could come in and someone's learning how to ride a bike for the first time, and then I let them go once they get comfortable. Yeah.
So is this all kind of essentially what you were doing for Jimmy as well?
It's similar to it. I came in and I was doing all the back-end work. The website was designed and built up by me. I was doing all the shipping and receiving. I was doing pretty much a majority of the product design and getting the designs made, doing the ordering, feeding all the way down to folding
the
t-shirts.
work that sucks, dude. I commend you so much for doing all of it. It's I hate it.
It's a lot. It really helps to have a second set of hands to do that, so like someone can focus on promotion and other things, which I was doing that as well, like a marketing side of it.
Yeah.
So I was just anything on the back end, I was doing all
Just
of
to
it.
have the other brain
Yeah, to have the other
associated
side
with a
free.
different perspective.
So in his case, being able to have his mind free to focus on creating content and working on the builds and ordering parts and everything else like that, kind of have to like separate the two into two separate businesses.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And then like have one person work on all that, and then it was hard to split it into smaller departments because it was, it's hard to finance that kind of capital to have
Absolutely.
10 people doing the actual jobs. I wore like 10, 15 hats when I was there.
Yeah,
It's just,
I
worked
believe
out.
it, dude. I wholeheartedly believe it.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I learned a lot, and I came in not knowing a majority. Like, I had no idea what Shopify was or ShipStation when I first came in, so I learned all that from scratch, and now I've been helping other companies who are just starting or need help updating it and getting that going for them, too.
That's so good, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as, like, the job itself, though, because I feel like a lot of outsiders that are just watching Jimmy all the time or watching any of these YouTubers all the time, they see it as very glamorous. They see it, all the highlight reels of it. So, on your perspective going into it, did you ever see it as that?
Well, I had been with it since 2016 from the very first video. Very first video, April 6th, 2016.
So it was like never even a question.
It was
felt
just,
normal.
I knew how it was from the get-go. We dropped the first video on my birthday, and like we had filmed it the night
That's so
before
funny.
and put it together. And it's just like, back then I was a parts manager at Cadillac. So I was going to his house while he was home from college, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'd get there Friday at like 6 p.m. when I got out of work, and I was there till 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until they went back to school, and I went back to work on Monday, working on the car, putting things together, and just doing stuff. And then like
hectic schedule.
I did that for a while until when I came on full-time. I was helping film for a while, and then he kind of transitioned back into self-filming because I was really, really getting like deep into the business, so I didn't have time to help film. And then we got Austin. So to me, it was like I could see how you would think it's just glamorous. You're not doing anything. You're only having fun because you only get to see the fun parts. You don't see the tedious, daunting tasks that like
little tiny
come
details,
week to
man.
week that you have to like take care of on that side. Because you only get to see what we put out in the video. We like try to show it in a more grounded aspect of what's real and like not what's scripted, but what's like, hey, for the camera, let's try and be in a better mood for this.
Right.
So I totally see how people only see it on the outside because you're just seeing the best parts of it. But there's ups and downs with everything.
Yeah.
But at the
I'm
end of the
sure
day,
like
it's good.
the exit too in that fashion and like that specific type of job is a little bit more controversial in a sense, and like I guess not controversial, but there's more talk behind it. People are curious more.
Oh yeah.
So like it's not like just
they're
leaving
always
a
running
job
because
at
they
Dell
always
or
just
something.
see it as like, oh man, it must have been going so good.
Yeah.
Why would you leave? Well, it's just the same thing. You don't see everything that goes on behind the scenes. You don't see all the day-to-day interactions or whatever it is. There's a lot more conversation behind the scenes than there are on camera, and everybody's different. And especially in this case where it's the business and the YouTube, and they're essentially separate but under the same name, the avenues that they're going to go are totally different. And like I said, it's been 9 years for me, and I've grown and changed and done a lot of stuff in between that time, and so has Jim, and it's just like you get to a scalability point where it's you either have to get even bigger or kind of figure out how to cut back and really focus on maintaining what you have so that you could be not just more profitable but be more efficient.
Right.
And in those cases of us trying to figure those things out, what I started to notice my last year there was when we were doing it was I don't think that this is how I want to go about this anymore, and that our ideas for the business became very different. We had very different paths that we wanted to take for it.
Right.
Especially the amount of time that we would spend around other companies that were more successful than us or were coming up to our level. He would see it as one way and I would see it as the other way. I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to do it like this. I want to do it like that. And we were just on the opposite sides.
Yeah.
So
Keep crossing paths that way.
Yeah, and not in a bad sense. It was just that's how it goes on there. And like you said, people think it's controversial because there's like, oh my God, did he left because he must be mad or Jimmy must have fired him or this and that. It was just, no, it was like, hey, let's sit down, let's talk about some stuff and figure out where we want to go. Because at the end of the day, it's like trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. And man, you think you're going to have it all figured out by the time you're 21, but you're not. Like, I'm going to be 31 next Sunday.
God,
So
I bet that feels crazy, dude.
it does feel wild, and it's a weird transition into being like, well, I thought that my time there was going to be something I was going to do for the rest of my life, And then not all of a sudden, but now it just turned into, you know what? I really would like to try a couple other things and do something else instead, and then have to walk away from it was hard.
Yeah. At least you did it in a manner where it's reasonable on both parties. And if you go and do all these other extracurricular things and you hate them, I guarantee you Jimmy would be more than stoked to bring you back.
We talked about a bunch of stuff like that, and then more or less, and we both felt like it would be better. Like when I told him that I wanted to leave, wasn't that he wasn't surprised, but he wasn't expecting it, because he's like, I know how you've been and what you've been wanting to do and how you are and like how you think. And he goes, I want to see what's best for you. And if you feel like this was best, then you got my support 100% from the other side of it now.
That's super cool.
So we're good. Jimmy's been one of my best friends for a long time. We've known each other almost 18 years.
Yeah.
So it's no different. And honestly, for me, I got to a point now where I did it, I tried it, I liked it, and then now I'm not in love with everything that I was doing, and that I would like to try and find something else. And even if that meant that I go back to a more typical style 9-to-5 job that I was doing before, I'm okay with it as long as I'm really enjoying what I'm investing myself into. And like I said, getting into the point where what we were going to do with the business was like, I really enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like I could put my all into it anymore, and that was a problem for me.
Yeah.
And it's no negative
it's
sense
very
on
respectable on your part,
there's no negative
too.
sense on how that works, but it's the same thing as everybody's got different tastes and whatnot, and I want to feel like I can really invest myself into something.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we can paint the picture for a little bit more
and
in depth for the
I hope
audience.
nobody sees it in a negative light, because that's not what it's about. It's just literally, it's not business, it's personal. Like, it's just a personal thing. I feel like I'm on a different path for growth and things that I want to do differently with my life, and a lot of it will probably involve stuff outside of motorsports too.
Right.
So.
Well, since you've gained so much knowledge on the back end of not just content, but running a business in general, what are some of the key details that people should pay attention to when they are starting their own business or trying to automate things or whatever?
When they're trying to start your own business, get a CPA, like get a good accountant, someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off. When you say, hey, I want to do this, and they say no, that's how the government comes and takes everything away from you.
Shut up.
Yeah, because when I came in, there was a lot of that stuff that I didn't know about, and trying to learn some of that stuff from the ground up is hard. There are a lot more resources out there. Don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out. And like, you got to spend money where it's worth it, whereas like, marketing is definitely really good, but also spending money on reliable information is definitely very valuable. And then
what do you mean by reliable information?
Reliable information, I guess, in my sense, is like when you're first starting out, there's like a lot of people like who are going to be able to come in and say they can help you. Whereas you kind of get a lot of like, I guess maybe in a sense of like me doing some of the freelance stuff, you get a salesman who's going to come in and be like, oh, I can help you do this, this, and this. You're better off, like, I think in the beginning, in my case, it would make things easier if we were able to get an accountant right off the rip and spend money on that instead of trying to immediately push the growth of the business by getting more sales. I think we would have had a little bit of an easier time with that growth if we had a little bit more knowledge in the beginning on how to run certain things. Because we would hit walls, like we would start to grow and we would hit a wall and be like, well, what do we do about this now? And then trying to figure it out, having like a good accountant really helped us.
What is an example of one of those? Where
if
one that you can share, I don't want you to like.
A good thing for us was like growing really rapidly and selling across the U.S. and internationally, and then learning about how you grow really rapidly, and then you're like, okay, I'm selling in all these other states, and then now I have to collect sales tax in other states that aren't my local state.
That's
and true. How does that work? And then you go into doing. Maybe it could just be for me personally, but I noticed that there was a lot of more, because I was more back end stuff, more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There was so much stuff that took up a majority of my time that I wasn't able to focus on doing certain kinds of marketing, promotion, and like brand buildup, or like working on designs and other stuff with the website, because the back end of my stuff was so taken over by trying to deal with these other random things in the business.
Yeah, that's gotta be
I think
annoying.
there's just a lot of people, they see us stuff on TikTok, they're like, oh, just go get your LLC and you can take out a loan for like $50,000 and like go do stuff with it.
Yeah, take all that stuff with a grain of salt,
There's so much more involved with it that it's the stuff that will, all of a sudden it's like April and you're like, oh, your taxes are due, and then October hits, and then you're like, oh my God, I have to do this, this, and this. I think there's just, same thing as people see it as glamorous, easy, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
You start your business, there's stuff that doesn't hit you until like a couple quarters in, and you don't know what to do. And I feel like that when you first start a business and you're coming out, a reliable source of information is important.
100%. I just recently acquired an accountant myself.
Yep.
And I can say it's a game changer. Just being able to text someone and be like, is this even smart?
Yeah.
Or how do I need to categorize this? Whatever.
Yeah.
Which in theory, like they'll just do it all themselves for
Yeah.
you. So I totally agree. I wish I would have fell into that sooner.
That's my that's got to be my biggest thing was like I said, I came in from like working in dealerships and service and parts and stuff like that. So a very general idea of like how the back end of a business ran. And then when it came time to it in there, both of us trying to figure out, like, we'll figure it out. We'll save money. We'll do it ourselves like this. And like between the bookkeeping yourself and anything that to do with like
wasting more money,
taxes and stuff, you're like, oh my God, I'm spending so much time on this. And we would have just had less headache if we had gotten that information before, because it like you think it would be cut and dry, and it's not. And if you think the government is cool, the more you run your own business, the more you hate them.
Nope.
Every month
That's
that I had like
100%
something
true.
going on with that, I was like, I hate these people. Now I get it. Now I get why we had that
filthy
revolution over
scumbag.
2%.
Absolutely, dude. God damn it! Start another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is
cool.
There is a lot of fun and games involved with it, but there is so much more behind the scenes that gets involved. Stuff that you're doing, stuff that I'm doing, stuff that Sasha does. Anybody who runs the business, you get how much is on there. So I don't want to discredit anybody from trying to start their own business. Be smart. Surround yourself with the right people. Ask the right questions. Like,
Do your
you could do a
research.
lot of stuff yourself, but it is okay to reach out for help on those ends, because that's the stuff that will like not take you down, but it'll really take away from your ability to focus on the stuff that's going to
burn
be
you
important.
out.
Yeah, it'll burn you out more than anything you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good advice, dude. I appreciate that. Can we ever expect you to get into drifting?
In drifting?
Yeah.
No,
Why?
I don't drift.
I know you've kind of explained that a little bit in videos before, but
Yeah,
what is the reasoning behind it?
It's not my thing. I don't really find it fun for an extended period of time. Like, I don't, in my
Really?
personal opinion, I don't believe that the amount of effort that goes into setting your car to go to the track day is worth the reward of it, just from my experience. And like, I've gone a bunch of times with Jim and he's throwing the Z's at us and be like, here, go have fun. Fantastic. But after like 10, 12 laps, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of getting tired. I'm kind of bored. I've always been more of an
That's
autocross kind of
wild.
guy. I like
Okay,
I
yeah,
like
I
that
get
kind of
it.
thing first. I like more of like, I got to keep my car in control than trying to keep it control out of control. And I've had one drift car. I've driven a plethora of like everybody else's thing, and it's fun, but it's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I really, really enjoy. I love spectating it. I like going to the events, but when it comes down to it, like, I just don't have that much fun with it. I would
Totally
rather
understand.
grip race. I like
Yeah.
the feel of like a lateral G trying to pull you. I like coming into a corner really tight and trying to keep that speed up and like bolt out of it. Like,
Yeah.
that everybody's got to each their own. Like, the drifting is definitely not the easiest thing. I think anybody who wants to try and pick it up can definitely throw their weight around and have fun, but it's not something that just like I'm like, man,
Just
I gotta
clicked
do
for
it.
you.
Yeah, it just doesn't click for me.
I get it.
always tell people I'm more of a Sunday cruiser kind of guy, like
There you go.
SUNDAE, because I really like ice cream. Like, I want a nice, fun car that I can get in and I can take around to do my daily stuff and then go get ice cream when I'm done.
That's cool,
Yeah.
man. I love it. I love it. With all the drama between grip racing, y'all hate when I say grip racing, and drifting, do you still think learning how to drift can help you with autocross and grip racing in general?
I don't know. I don't really know if I have anything off the top of my head that makes me feel like they're correlated.
Really?
Yeah, there's nothing that's like speaking out to me.
Even if
maybe
it like
someone will
kicks
say something that I
sideways, like the franticness of people that, you know, to
I guess
keep it in
maybe when you're
control.
like doing autocross or grip and your car kicks out, how to get yourself back in, sure, but no, there's really nothing in my head. There's gonna be someone who's gonna say, oh, it is like this would go together, but I don't really
Yeah.
think of anything in my head that like makes the drifting and like grip racing go together.
It's always interesting to hear, especially from someone that's actually done both.
Yeah, it
I
just
can't
doesn't-
stand when a grip racer comes in and like shares their point and gets so serious about it, but they've never even tried drifting. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, you never know. It might help.
Yeah, I really can't think of a thing and like there's
That's
nothing coming
interesting.
off my head that like, oh yeah, these two things correlate together.
Yeah. Well, I'd
It's
rather
not-
you be that way instead of just shoot me some bullshit. Anyways.
Yeah, like if I don't know, I don't really feel like talking about it.
That's
Like,
fair.
if I don't know, then I don't know.
Hell yeah. Well, what does this year look like for you?
What's this year look
season-
like?
What events?
A lot
like,
of
what do you got
travel.
going?
I'm going to be doing a mix of like just part-time work, keep myself afloat with like bills and other stuff, and then I'm working for a multitude of other companies. So I'm going to be doing a lot of events. Like I'll be at I don't want to say where I'm going to be next weekend because I want to leave it a surprise. So I'm going to be somewhere else next weekend.
Cool.
I'll probably be at Final Stage again. I'm supposed to go there with Sasha to help him out with his booth.
Nice.
I'll be doing some stuff with him for the Drift HQ 4th of July event down in South Carolina. I'll be going out to that one.
I'll see you there.
I'm going to do a road trip soon, take some time off for myself. That was like another big thing about me, not trying to dive right into another position, another career or anything. I really wanted some free time for me to kind of like refresh and reset, because I was supposed to do that in January and I did not do it the right way. So little road
Fair
tripping
enough.
for me, and I'll be all over. I'm excited. I'm kind of leaving everything open for opportunity, and it has been a knocking, so I'm just kind of like letting this year like kind of happen as it happens. Yeah.
Good. Well, I sure do appreciate you making time, man. I hope this year
No problem.
goes great
Thank you for having me on here.
And get you that reset.
I need
It's always
it
good to
bad,
have.
Yeah, I need it. I'll be in the mountains. That's where you won't find me for a little while, but I'll be in the mountains.
Yeah, phone's off.
Laying
Fuck
by
you
a
all.
river, soaking up the sun, grounding on the earth. The
Good,
stuff.
dude. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now let's get you back before Sasha
Yeah, get back to
screams
it
up
before I get fired.
Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home run, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no